Hey guys, it's Spaces Sins, and we are back with more Charade Maniacs in Akase's route. We're getting down to the wire, so maybe we'll get the ending today. I don't know. I keep feeling like the last couple of parts should have been the end, and it's like it keeps going, so I don't know. We might be here forever. How it works for me, I guess. Because, like I said, I don't have time to record the next route before Christmas. And like the longer this goes after into January, because I know it's in January, but like the longer it goes, the better. Because like then I don't have to panic and be behind again. Finally, after a year caught up, just to get behind again. Good God, guys. Anyway, yeah. So we just saw I'm sorry, just skipped the ... but we just saw Akase freaking out because he remembered his sisters that he forgot. Nanaka and Natsumi, Akase's two sisters, must have been made into cast members of the Otherworld stream by their parents. Akase watched them die and then did his best to convince his parents to change. It's kind of sad, but also beautiful in a way that, like, the stream we saw, was his sister. You know what I mean? That's like a weird way to bond with him. Is it wrong of me to be like, that's kind of like beautiful. That's how we bond with it. We have this bond with him now that we both watched his sister die. That's a little fucked up. In a dark, twisted, fucked up way, I guess, you know? Akase watched them die and then did his best to convince his parents to change. But he failed at that. It only ended with Akase leaving his parents. And the dead end of both his sisters was erased from his memory. Only the fierce anger and hatred toward his parents remained. Oh, that's right. I'll get a punishment game. Dazai was watching the stream when he said that. He sounded scared. Akase still had a lot of points. One punishment game wouldn't lead all the way to a dead end, but we can't let it end like this. I looked at my bangle and tapped my screen. I'm going. Sena! Akase already showed me what to do at times like this. Amazing, right? I tapped the stream menu and saw the words. Join unofficially. I took a breath before going. Hiroto! Upon being teleported to the drama, I ran to Akase while shouting that name. I thought it would fill the gaps in the act. Huh? Akase was on his knees with a blank stare, but he reacted to me. Serena, why are you here? I thought you were still at home. Why are you calling me Serena? Shh. I'm Nanaka or Natsume. Whatever. You're coming with me. Either way, we aren't going back to that home. I looked at Iochi in surprise at that line, and Iochi winked at me. That was improvised. Serena was the name of a role for a drama that Iochi and I co-starred in. By calling out my name and position, Iochi assisted my merging into the drama when I jumped in unannounced. That's right, I came to help Akase. Right now I'm Serena, here to bring back Akase. I won't go with you. Hiroto and I aren't coming with you, Dad. My role would be Hiroto's younger sister. No, Akase already has a younger sister, so I should be the older one here. Come on, Hiroto, you don't have to cry alone. I'll be here for you no matter what happens. Just like how you've always done for me, Hiroto, I'll be by your side. Let's figure out how to accept this sadness together. There could be a way. Maybe we just haven't found it yet. If you want to become everyone's hero, you can't stop right here. Isn't that right? I like how she's leading him. Sena, I finally understand this arrogance within me. I assumed I could do anything. I even imposed my own ideals on others. I said I could do anything, but look at me now. I was overconfident and made so many mistakes. The truth is, I was the most in the wrong. I even forgot about my dear sisters. I just didn't understand it. And I didn't care to. I didn't even try. That's why when I faced my mother and father, I couldn't even talk, let alone convince them. All I could do was fall into despair. I'm helpless. I couldn't save Nanaka or Natsumi. I took Akase's hand. He was cold and tense. That was proof of his despair, so I held his hand as tightly as I could. I know you're scared. So am I. My ideal self would have been able to would have been able to accept the facts without being afraid. But things never go my way. At first, I couldn't accept it either. That wandering line of sight finally locked with my gaze. Our faces drew closer and we spoke with our own words and not lines from the script. I changed. Maybe it isn't ideal, but I can accept things without having to cry. It's okay to cry. Jeez. It's thanks to you being by my side. I'm stronger thanks to you. Even if I make mistakes or can't do it right now, someday I might be able to change. You allowed me to think that way. I lower my voice to a whisper so that only Akase can hear it. Say, is it arrogant of me to think that you're also able to do that? He slowly shook his head. His voice sounded like he could cry at any moment. No, that's not true. Thank goodness. I knew that Akase would answer me that way. My lips curled into a smile and I forced a laugh and tried to make my voice as cheerful as possible. I reminded myself of the times that Akase tried his best to cheer me up. If you give up now, you can't save anyone. If you go back now, I'll have to cry alone. I want you to laugh with me like we always have. There's no more need for sadness. If you truly can't ever forgive Mom and Dad, please don't let yourself be taken away. Please stand up and let's go home together. We promised, didn't we? Akase slowly processed my words. After a while, even through his teary eyes, he finally smiled. You're right. Sorry. Took me long enough. It's always like this. Do I never understand until I'm told? Akase stood up to face Iochi. Yeah, now isn't the time to give up. Yeah, you don't know until you try. Right. I can't even do what I said I would. I'm always so arrogant, and I hate myself for that. But with you, I can stand up time and time again. That, I don't mind at all. He took a deep breath and declared it loudly. I won't go with you. I'm no longer a helpless child. I can walk on my own. I'll no longer give up on what I want or forsake what I don't want to lose. I'll find a way until the very end. I may be subservient and arrogant, and I may just be a child that couldn't even convince my own parents. But I've worked hard to get where I am today. I got my memories of Nanaka and Natsumi back, and I'll get my parents back too. Strong words. A strong will. Iochi had been quiet until then, but nodded slightly. Go ahead and try, if you can. That line was following the script. It was a cold statement from the father, but Iochi's expression was kind and encouraged Akase. This drama was a parting between father and son, and those were the last words they shared. It's also very funny. Be like a father and son, and like Iochi is basically like the person guiding Akase in the bureau because Iochi's an actual employee and Akase is just kind of like an informant for them. So like that's kind of fucking adorable if you think about it. Like a parting between a father and son, and like, well, Iochi's kind of like Akase's dad in this scenario, I guess. Like he's your father figure in the bureau. Oddly, only a few years older than you, but still, whatever. It's cute. Stream points 1. Never give up. Oh, okay, this must be the end chapter then. It's funny because, like, in the guide, I just scrolled up. There's, yeah. It just says Akase ending. It doesn't say, like, that there's, like, a thing. You know what I mean? Like, I would think the title of the ending would be in there. Otome Kitten usually puts that in there, but, yeah. Not for this one, I guess. After the drama ended, I wanted to return to my room. However, things turned out differently. Huh? This is... I looked around to see all the cast members. Everyone's bangles started to ring all at once. Do we all get enough points? Good work! That was a great drama. Everything around us changed, and the director spoke in an oddly cheerful voice. Congratulations! You've reached your goal! Huh? I looked to my side in surprise, and Akase's bangle was shining. It showed that he had 3,002 points. That was enough to go over 3,000 points? The drama was full of ups and downs. There was also the sudden guest appearance, so the viewers were extremely satisfied. Thanks to that, you've gained enough points. Congratulations! Oh, really? That's great, but it feels too easy. It's so sudden it doesn't feel real. And also, I wonder if it's like, yeah, no, okay, bye everybody, because they know who Akase and Iochi are, and then they know, and they're like, you know what, cut our losses before they figure shit out. You know?
That was a close call. I'm glad you made it to the end and achieved your goal. Right. I also got your memory back.
It happened a lot sooner than I thought it would. This means we can go back, right? Only one person? I thought each person had to get 3,000. That should be the case, but while this was going on, I noticed that Akase didn't react, so I turned to look at him. He scowled. It looked like he hated the Otherworld stream because of his personal sense of justice. However, that wasn't right. You'll grant a wish, right? It's a reward for achieving the goal.
Yes, of course. I'll grant just one wish. What will it be?
Even if it means returning the cast members. Not everyone can go back, right? I wasn't the only one surprised at Akase. What? Huh? What do you mean, not everyone?
Yes, you can choose either to return a single cast member, or you can return 9 members and leave one. However, there's one traitor mixed in, so in reality, there are only 8 other cast members to return.
There's technically 2. What does this all mean? The last time you explained it...
I didn't specify the details last time, but you also didn't confirm any of those details with me, correct? I promised to grant your wish to return to your world. However, that promise is conditional. The choices are simple. You can ask for one person to return, or to leave one person behind. Will you either forsake all of your friends to satisfy yourself, or will you sacrifice someone against their will? Arcadians do not understand such nuanced emotions at all. That inner turmoil, that's what makes this interesting.
And it's... See, that would make sense if, like, you know, Yuki, like, returned everyone and then she's the only one left, then obviously she's gonna hit a dead end. But Akase thinks he knows who the producer is, who should be like, yeah, no, I know exactly who we're leaving behind. We're all going, except for this person. And then they just don't tell you, and you're like, who was it that didn't go back? Because if he knows who the producer is, leave them.
Those shades of gray are the best part of the Otherworld stream. Now, your decision, please.
He's gonna sacrifice himself. This is insane. Why do we have to go through all this? This has all been a sham.
And then I might not be able to go back. I might have to stay behind.
See? See, and you'd be like, oh no, he's the innocent kid. But I feel like that's shady as fuck right there.
Akase, did you know about this from the start? Have you known since that very moment?
Not exactly, but it's a fact that I kept quiet about it. I thought it would be better that way. Akase! His unwavering expression hinted at something. I already knew what Akase was attempting to accomplish. Akase had previously said that he wanted to be everyone's hero. I'm choosing to send all cast members back except for myself. Everyone, please go back to your world. That's my wish. Is that why you said that? Here's the thing! What was his point of, I think I know who the producer is. I'm gonna send everyone but the producer back. And then you tell the director, this is the person I'm leaving here. And then everyone's like, who? And then you just don't say anything. If you know who the producer is, why wouldn't you reveal that? You know what I mean? Him saying that makes no sense now. I won't forget you, no matter what. I hope you always remember me too. He did say, like, will you wait for me? So you kind of knew, but... Of course I won't forget. But what do you mean? It's just a hypothetical. If even one person remembers, then that person existed without a doubt. Just like your friend, because you remember, your friend will never disappear. Never. There's no need to be sad or to give up. It's okay if I think that way, right? We're not going to have an ending where we leave him. It's not that kind of game. You decided earlier. No! I won't let you do this! I pulled at his arm and made him look at me. You said we'd go back together, so why would you give me hope? Why would you say that? We worked so hard and come so far together. What was it for? That's right. You worked so hard at it.
I know because I was right beside you. I was able to do this because you were by my side. That's why I want to get you back as soon as possible. You can go back to that ordinary life, back to the world in which you'll be happiest. I refuse to let you sacrifice yourself for that. I didn't work hard at or I didn't work hard at this for that. I don't think of it as a sacrifice. This is my choice. I'll get everyone back to our original world. I know you've all had enough of Arcadia. Let's end it now. No, but there is one thing I'd like to wish in addition. Zayna also finished saving up 3,000 points. So give us a little bonus, Director.
The director turned around as if he just realized it and laughed lightly. I'd be like, then I wish for it to send only Akase back home. He's sending all of us. I'm sending him. Loophole! You didn't say we couldn't wish for both.
That would depend on the request.
I'd like for everyone to keep their memories. The memories that we spent here. They're all in the bangle, aren't they? I want Sana to remember me. I want those memories to be viewable even after returning to the other side. The thing is like, we know from going back with Tomose, we didn't forget what happened to us, so. There's no way that I'd forget.
I want her to be able to confidently say that. Can you do that at least?
And also, you'd have to know that there's no way you forget because Ibana wouldn't remember that he lost his arm here.
Very well. I have a difficult time understanding why you're so fixated on memories, but thanks to your display in the drama, I accept that memories are of great emotional importance. Regarding the data in your current bangles, I'll transfer the information to your original bangles, except for certain bits of data.
Oh, thank you for being so flexible. Wait, don't just go and be a hero like this. Are you sure about this?
Yeah, there's no need for you to shoulder all of our burdens.
I'm sorry. I always wanted to be the hero, so everything will be fine. Sorry that I have nothing else to say. Just trust me. I want to give everyone a clean break. That's why I'm staying behind. I'll be back soon. Don't worry.
You're unreasonably confident.
You already know why. This is how I live. I live my life so that I can say this. I remembered it when you all helped me. And it's all for this moment. I've hesitated so much until now, but it's all to overcome this. I want to end this myself.
Are you really gonna be okay?
Yeah, you can count on me. Saying that as a superior. Not just to anybody, you know what I mean? Because you can count on me. You would say that to anyone. It's such an innocuous statement, but knowing what we know about Iochi, it's got that underlying thing too, which is kind of cool. I like that. You certainly are selfish. But once you're back, you better be prepared to face a scolding fire girlfriend, that is. Sorry.
Akase,
Yeah? What is it?
no, it's nothing. I will respect your courage.
What? Is everyone just gonna let this go? I don't think it's a good idea.
Shouldn't we just let things be if he can come back on his own?
See? Said somebody who's like the mastermind of this shit. Or someone shady, anyway. Well, I'll assume that for now. It looks like everyone but Akase can go back.
Right. Thank you, big bro Akase.
It's alright. Sorry for making it so sudden.
Akase.
Thanks, Dazai. I remembered so much because of you.
No.
He faced forward without hesitation and made his declaration as usual. That's it for the explanations. I've already made my decision. Director, let's hear your conclusion.
Very well. We shall commence with returning everyone home except for Kyoya Akase. Are you fine with that?
Yeah, of course.
Then we shall transport everyone soon. This will take place as soon as possible, but there may be lag between the members.
Oh, I didn't know what to say. When I saw his determined expression, I was at a loss for words. He said that it was a choice and not a sacrifice. I was sure that it meant something to him. However, I don't want this. I was overcome with worry. I remembered how I felt when I came to this world. I was thrown into Arcadia, and everything that was happening around me was bizarre. I was worried about not knowing who to trust. It was then that Akase said that we should trust everyone. So, if you okay, so he could be like, yep, I'm sending me home. He goes home. Then the next person goes home. Then the next person goes home. We could theoretically, because they never said, oh, one person always has to stay. It's, you can send one person home or everyone except for one. Okay, those are the two options when you reach 1,000. We could stay with him and then we work on the streams, blah, 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 get an next 3,000 points, and then, oh wait, you're at 3,000? I'm at 3,000. He's like, I'm going to send me home, and I'm going to send me home, and then we both go home. Because it's not like, oh no, there always has to be one person. Nope. My choice when I hit my 3,000 is I'm sending me home. And he hit 3,000, he's going to send himself home. One person, or we're each choosing one person. We just happen to be the last two people. So technically, you could do it if you only had a couple people stay. If people are like, wait, no, okay, how about 3 of us stay, everybody else goes on. You know what I mean? It gets harder the less cast members you have, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. But to throw away the trust in 9 people because one traitor isn't right. That's why I want to take back what I said yesterday. To doubt someone and to lose the trust of those you can will end up making me unable to believe in myself. I don't want that. So that's why I decided to think everyone here is allies for now. He also, if he supposedly knows who the producer is, he could have been like, I know who I'm going to keep here. And he doesn't tell anybody so that you just don't know. And then you're like, oh! I know what they're trying to do. Oh, Akase's the hero and it's noble. It's like, you know what? This is not the time for being noble. Be like, ha, fuck you, producer. And if you're wrong, whatever, you don't know. You just pretend that you're like, nah, they were totally the producer. I'll still believe in you and everyone. I won't allow anyone to become the traitor. I'll get everyone back as safely as I've sworn. This will be the last Otherworld stream. That's why I'm here. Okay, so then it goes against his ideals then. Leaving the traitor here. But the thing is like, we know Futami's a psycho, so Futami will just hop right back in. But he probably can't, because Akase would recognize him, but... It was like a bright torch in the darkness. A guiding hand that led me. Although we chose to stay with Iochi, so... Akase isn't as strong as he seems. Eventually, huh? I wonder how long we have to be here. How long? Sorry, my bad. Forget I said anything. It's rare for you to be so negative. It's rare for you to be so negative about anything. I think that yesterday affected me more than I thought, but it's even worse for you. Sorry. I really wanted to talk to you. I thought I might feel differently if I talked it out. So, do you mind if I vent for a little bit? It's like going to be an hour of flashbacks. Okay, we get it. We're flashing back. Can we stop? Even though he hesitated and was negative in front of me at times, I know he tried his best to be strong. Can anyone ever say that they'll never hesitate? Can anyone know that they'll definitely come back? Aww, surprise CG. No, I don't want to leave you behind, Akase. Don't look at me like that. It'll be okay. It's fine. Once you get back home, you'll have plenty to do. I've remembered all the important things. I'll manage so long as I don't lose sight of that. It's because you supported me. No matter how far apart we are, I'll be strong. Don't forget what I told you. I hope you get home safely. For my sake, too. Kase tapped at my bangle and then held my hand. The warmth of his hand caused my heart to waver more. Oh! It's basically a kiss CG now. It's like a couple inches away, but it's the closest we've gotten. I felt those powerful emotions through his lips. That's what it was like. I should tell him that I believe in him. Better that way. However, I don't want to feel lonely. It's too late. I know that I've lost him. The hero never lies. Trust me and wait for me. Believe you. I wanted to say it many times over before it finally materialized. Believe you. Please come back soon. Yeah, I'll see you again. See, that's why I'm single. I'm just waiting for my Akase to come back from the other world stream. Listen. Except for, I wouldn't have fallen in love with Akase. He's sweet. I do like this route. It was good. He's a good character, but, you know, he's not my salty glasses bitch. So, like, hi. No, I want the asshole who's always berating me and, like, being a dick over here with glasses. It's just 100% my thing. Akase let go of my hand, and I was suddenly surrounded by light. The world seemed to fall away with the light. Akase's smile distorted into a frown before he turned his back to me. I almost reached out and called for him, but I couldn't find my voice. I couldn't see my hand.
All right, battle between me and Arcadia from here on out. I won't lose to you.
As the world vanished before me, Akase was the last thing I saw. I couldn't recognize where I was. Oh, this is interesting! So, like, Iochi told us our body was in the information bureau, and this is obviously where we are, but we find that, technically, I guess, we would have found that out before doing his route. Anyway. The room was unfamiliar. The white ceiling was different. But I was breathing, and I understood it after a few deep breaths. I'm no longer in Arcadia. I'd finally returned home. I was back in the ordinary life that I'd yearned for. But the weird thing is you feel like this one should give you answers because you wake up here and yet you know you're not going to get them. However, life was no longer ordinary. I lied to Akase for the first time. It was the first time that I doubted Akase. I lied about waiting and believing. Couldn't wait. Wouldn't wait. I wanted to be with him. If he still had a mission to complete, I wanted to complete it with him. No matter the consequences, I wanted to be with him till the end. I don't want this. I longed for the days I spent with Akase, and silent tears began to flow. I cried like a child.
I thought we just started summer vacation. I blinked once and I missed it. School's back.
That would also suck. You're like, we went through all that hell just to go back to school afterward? That's kind of the way you... Okay, listen. This is like, yay, school's out for the summer! Oh my god, we have to fight in these 10, we have to battle, and we finally got back home! What do you mean I have to go back to school? That's literally how it feels when you work. You're like, woo, it's Friday! And then you blink and you're like, what do you mean it's fucking Monday again? Son of a bitch!
Our break has never been so pointless. That last month sucked.
And you only have 1 month of summer vacation, that's worse. I walked alongside Tomose. We walked to school using the same path as always. Yeah, my childhood friend Tomose. When he heard his voice, it was like nothing had ever happened. No Arcadia, no otherworld stream. It was like Akase and I never met. Tomose walked in silence as he tried to gauge my reaction. I knew that he was being considerate. I just didn't have the energy to acknowledge it. And you know what's worse is that you're like, yeah, no, you'll hold out hope, and then years go by, and then you think Akase must be dead, and then you finally fall in love and you're getting married, and then he shows back up, and you're like, fuck. The second you give up hope, that's when he shows back up. That's just the way it works. When we returned to our original world, a month passed by in our absence. Based on our records of Arcadia, it felt like we'd spent more time there. The truth of the matter was different. When I woke up, I was in an information bureau hospital room. The ceiling was white. They said Tomose and I were found unconscious on the street. Okay, that explains that. However, problems with the investigation meant that we couldn't be told anything else. And you're not going to be told anything else until we get later on in the routes. You know what I mean? Maybe Dazai does work for the information bureau. You know what I mean? Because if he's the law, like, shit's gonna have to come out in the last 3 routes. You know what I mean? And one of those, okay, you'd have to find out all the backstory information. Like, all the information bureau kind of investigation stuff that we're not being told in all the other routes. You gotta find out information about Arcadia from, like, the producer. And then what's the other one? You know what I mean? So, like, but why would you have 3 people that work for the information bureau stationed in there? That'd be really overly convenient. You know what I mean? I understand the 2. 2 makes sense, but like 3, that's pushing it. So, anyway. After that day, we were interrogated as part of the investigation into Arcadia, and I took a lot of time off from school. It'd been a while since the semester started, but it was the first time I'd been back to school. And it had been a while since I walked with Tomose. And okay, so they can't tell us anything. Fine, you understand. It's a government investigation. Totally makes sense. But like, how are we explaining what happened to us to everyone else. Because everybody talks about the other world streaming like, oh, we were there. You're not allowed to tell people you were there, I'm sure, because that would fuck up the investigation and whatever. So what do you tell your friends? You and Timose were just both hit in the head and fell unconscious at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, how do you explain this? Anyway. Aren't you glad that you can finally see the other cast members? They all said they want to meet you. Yeah. We kept our memories of Arcadia, everyone that was there, every day that we were there. I think it was fortunate that we were actually able to remember it. Some data remained in our bangles, just as Akase had pleaded for from the director. Data corruption occurred, so it was incomplete, but it was more than enough to remember each day. It wasn't data corruption, he said, aside from some data. Certain stuff is being taken out. He specifically told you that. There was the memo pad I used instead of a diary. There were the investigations into Arcadia, and there were messages between me and Akase. We'd spent some time talking about the show Planet Warrior Planeton that Akase liked so much. I reread that data every day to remember. I'm going to read this every day so that I'll never forget. Every single day. For as long as it takes. How long was it going to take? When would he be back? If he doesn't come back at the end of this, I'm going to be kind of sad. Like, that's a sad ending. Like, you know what I mean? Like, someday. No! That's a bad end. Or like what games sometimes call a normal end. That's not a, But I mean, I guess technically just as Akase ending, it doesn't say it's a good one. But at least we got to be with Timose. We got to be with Yoji. We got to be with Futami, even though he's a psychopath. We don't get to be with the little cinnamon roll over here. Like, Akase's a good boy. Like, we don't get to be with him? That's sad for him. I stopped in my tracks. Again, I was looking down again. Ever since returning home, I had picked up the habit of looking down. I'd cry. It happened time and time again. And it was Timose who stood in front of me. How long are you going to keep doing that? Huh? I told you not to trust him. I said that he'd betray you. Now I can't even blame him. He doesn't play fair. Can't give him a piece of my mind. Ugh. He didn't betray. Akase hasn't betrayed anyone. He's everyone's hero. I tried to prevent myself from saying that while crying. You know he's gonna pop back up any minute. Timose rejected the idea. He's gone. And what's the point of a hero that doesn't exist? It's meaningless if he can't be here for you. If you need him that much, I can take his place. I'll be here for his share. I look out, Timose's like, well, he's not here, so you can have me. Oh, yeah, sure, okay, I guess. Timose, stop being pathetic. Timose, you poor thing. Stop being pathetic. That is so... Don't do that. I mean, you're totally in love with that person. I'll just take their place. It's good enough, I guess. You deserve better than that, Timose. Anyone who feels like being Timose in this situation, I'll do it. I'll take their place. You deserve better than being just the replacement or good enough. Okay? You're better than just good enough or just there. Jesus. Every single word he said was painful, so I responded in anger. Slap him. Don't say he doesn't exist. Akase will be back. He's with me, even if he isn't close. Then stand proud. You two promised each other, right? If you don't believe in Akase, who will? Well, Timose, actually, you know what? Good for you. High five. He stayed behind and had us all return, so you shouldn't be making that face. I was shaking. Cold worry that engulfed me was warmed by my clenching my fist. And what was it all for? Why did Akase decide to stay in Arcadia? Beats me. You should know better. You were with him every day and spoke to him way too much. Ugh, right. We talked a lot, and we talked about what Akase liked, and I thought about it. Don't forget. Do not ever forget. Not the important things. That was what Akase said. I'm going to the Information Bureau. Huh? What about school? See you tomorrow! I'm going now! Fuck school! Sure. Timose's like, well, as long as she's moving on. How many times have I been rejected now? But he looks happy about it. You're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it. I looked at the sky. There weren't two moons. I could only see a single white moon. It followed me no matter how far I ran. It was like I was being watched by it. There is no moon in this fake sky that we've got here. I made my way back to the Information Bureau. With a shaky hand, I held down my bangle. Excuse me! They just let you in. There's no guard gate. You can just waltz right in. What's going on? Are you a visitor? It's not that. Okay, because this is like the hospital we woke up in. I guess it's because it's the only background they have for this. Sana? Oh, it was Iochi. Okay, I was like, why would it be Akase, though? Iochi! So it was Iochi. Sana! Look at him! Look at him in his little business suit! Sorry, look at them in their business. Look at... God, Iochi, you're so lovely. I love you. I can't imagine that the Information Bureau would let you have, like, waist-long, glorious hair, but fine.
Now, what are you doing here? Oh, are you here to provide info for the investigation? And that's great.
I don't like this, though, because then that tells you that Iochi works here. That ruins Iochi's route. This is... Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I like that this would ruin Iochi's route for you. You'd be like, oh, okay, Iochi's the person that works for the information, another person that works for the Information Bureau, I guess. So when it's revealed, it wouldn't be a shock. I don't like that. That's why I thought Iochi would be the next route, because we kind of already know, like, okay, before Akase being his partner, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, I don't know if I like that this is obvious. Unless, but I mean, this makes it seem like it, and if they're going to try to wrap it up, no, Iochi's just here also providing info, which you're going to be like, bullshit. And it kind of ruins Iochi's route a little. So I'm glad we got Iochi's route before Akase's then. I'm not glad about Futami's, but like, anyway. Yeah, but why are you here, Iochi? Oh, okay, so she doesn't know, but I feel like it seems obvious, especially when you see Iochi in a business suit.
You seem to be in a rush. Is it urgent?
Oh, yeah, I am. I want someone from the Information Bureau to take a look at my data.
Your data?
I have a piece of data that Akase gave me. At first it was just some ordinary video, but I have a feeling now it's more than that. He said he'd give something precious to me. When he gave me this data, he told me doing so would be a gamble. That's why I think there might be something there.
You're amazing, Sana. I always found it odd. He told us all that he'd take care of things and asked the director to leave our memories, yet then there was nothing of value left.
Iochi smiled and held a hand out to me.
He hesitated as to whether or not it was right for him to pursue personal relationship with you. I encouraged him so he'd have no regrets. It seems he was right after all. He really did choose the one. Come here, let's go check that out. I'm sure the answer's there.
Iochi glanced at my bangle and then tapped it lightly. It was just like what Akase did before we parted. But see that? Like, Iochi's like, Anyway, and then like, but that makes it seem like Iochi works for the Information Bureau. So I don't necessarily like that kind of makes it obvious. For the fact of, okay, Tomose being first, fine. Tomose reveals nothing about anyone. Akase doesn't mention having a partner at the Information Bureau, which I thought was nice. Like, oh, okay, then you have no idea that there's anybody else here that works for the Information Bureau. That's kind of cool. But showing Iochi here like this kind of makes it obvious and kind of spoils Iochi's route a little bit. You know what I mean? They give little hints and stuff. But I mean, like, the Ibana hints that we've seen, like Iochi being like, right, Ibana? People have been here before, right, Ibana? And then the arm thing, like, I feel like those are kind of obvious, but you're like, whoa, but what's the story behind this? Like, okay. I mean, I guess that's a little spoilery for Ibana, but at the same time, he's wearing a glove on his left hand, so it seems kind of obvious. You know what I mean? But I don't know if I necessarily like handing us that Iochi works for the Information Bureau before. So to me, it would have made more sense Iochi and then Akase. Now that we've seen this part of it, So I'm glad we did it the way we did, at least in that respect. I'm not glad about Futami because again, I think that spoils stuff from the game overall, but also we only slightly got a little bit of Futami maybe crossing some lines in Akase's route where I think we're going to get a little more of that. So when you get to Futami's route, he would have made more sense. You know what I mean? As opposed to the fuck did this come from? Well, it's been building in other routes that we never got to see it. So that's kind of it ruins Futami a little bit. It takes away from his route, and I don't think again aside from the it sucks finding out who the sponsor is the second fucking route in. What the shit? Or you could have potentially done that the first route. Way to ruin the game. But it takes away from some of Futami's character building because you don't see the little bits till you get to that. So when they did that whole like, oh, I'm dark and evil, you're like, what? Doesn't make any fucking sense. And it kind of takes away. It does Futami a disservice. Where like you might have seen it before where you're like, I might believe it. When we got to that point, if we did it better. But I don't agree right now with Akase being before Iochi because of that. Like, that spoils Iochi a lot. I mean, I guess there's really no way around it. There's going to be things again. Like, again, the Ibana thing's kind of spoiled a little bit. Like, you can't go down Ibana's route and then tell me he wasn't in it before and he didn't lose his arm because then what the fuck was going on with that shit? But, yeah. I'm personally glad that I guess we did Iochi's route before Akase. So I'll stick with that. Anyway, every day and night repeated over and over. I tried to trace back my memories. I pulled them close to me. Well, wait, is this... Oh, are we Akase right now? And I wished countless times for it. We might be. For ordinary days. I think we might be Akase because every single... Okay, we have to be. No, it's us. Bugs. I followed the bugs with my eyes as they flew. The sun was bright and the flowers were fragrant. My feet felt a little cold, but it must have already been spring. The soothing air was comforting. Finally back. I was back home for a few months already, but I always thought about it. That cold and distorted world, this warm and gentle reality. I'm so happy. I was speaking to myself when I heard someone's footsteps approaching. Hey, there you are. I'm assuming it's Akase. Oh! I stopped looking at the ground and stand up. Yeah. So did we go back to him? My fucking volume just cranked. Akase smiles as he walks toward me and lightly touches my hair. Such a nice reality. Akase kept his promise to return. After ending everything. You found a great spot. The crepe shop nearby is great. It's perfect for a picnic. Okay, so we're actually in reality and Akase got back with whatever information we had? Is that what I'm supposed to believe? I hope they explain this. Akase hands over the crepe he just bought. But it's weird because it's like Arcadia background. So like, I know they're just reusing backgrounds, but it's like they could have picked a different one because then, I guess because the ice cream truck's not here, but I thought certain times in Arcadia the ice cream truck wasn't there too. So like, you could have had real world backgrounds and Arcadia backgrounds just so we knew the difference. You know what I mean? Right. I think it's a very comfortable place. I turn and hear Akase sigh a bit. Every place is great when I'm with you, but it all feels like a different world. It's so fresh and fun. Me too. I really feel that we're back. I can see you whenever I want, Akase. I feel like there's a weird twist here that we're not seeing. Is it really just we're back on Earth, happy together, or is there going to be some kind of weird little kind of twist thing? Because don't you feel like I feel like the ground is a little shaky right now. We eat our crepes next to each other while reminiscing about the past. Yeah, I did make you wait a bit. Sorry for making you worry. See, that makes me feel like we're here, but it's just we're back here. This is a comfortable place, and it's like, are we Delulu? Are we, like, just in a coma or something? Like, you know what I mean? Don't you feel like, are we okay? Am I okay, or should I be suspicious? This game makes you sus of everything to the point where you're getting the ending, and you're like, no, I'm still a little sus of it. Akase's apology is genuine, but it's something he does too often. He did it when we were first reunited. I cried my eyes out that first time, and it was difficult to hold a conversation. I asked out loud if he was real when I saw him in front of me. It was probably a bizarre question. However, his face, voice, and shape, His way of talking, smile, and memory, it was the same Akase that I knew. Seriously, you said you'd protect me from bad dreams. You're such a liar. Sorry. And now we're even. I lied too. You lied? I was going to tell you this, but I never could. I don't want to lie to you. What is it? Now I'm interested. After coming back here, I was so worried about whether you were actually going to return. I didn't want to simply sit idly, but Akase, you told me to trust you and wait. So I had no choice but to say that I believe you. That was a lie. I hated to think about you until the moment I found out that... I hated thinking about you until the moment I found that encrypted data in the video that you gave me. I wondered why you would even let us be I wondered why you wouldn't let us be together. You've been there to save me so many times. And still, I asked myself why you left me alone. I made a promise that I'd wait for as long as it takes. The Information Bureau inspected the data, and it helped end the Otherworld stream. I didn't have any of the details, but what I gave them had a necessary piece of information to put a stop to it. Kase was also able to negotiate a deal with the producer, and he was able to achieve an unexpected result. It was the restoration of cast members who met their dead ends in the past. That information hadn't been made public. The Information Bureau was housing many of those past cast members. They were all returned to the world in a brain-dead state, but for some reason they were starting to regain consciousness. Not all of them woke up, but there were some who finally returned to their daily lives. I'm really sorry. I hesitated too. I wanted to be with you after all. Had I known that one person had to be left behind, I never would have shared my feelings for you. Huh? Speaking of which, why did you say something like that? Doesn't it make sense? There was no guarantee that I'd be back. I'm sure that you would have been sad. It would have been better if we weren't in a relationship, if we didn't kiss or fall asleep together. But I was happy doing that. I know, you told me. You helped me so much that I had to return no matter what. Any important data would have been confiscated upon return, so I tried to hand you the info for the Bureau without arousing suspicion. I planned on negotiating with the producer so that I could get the cast members who were held hostage to return. I wouldn't have been able to negotiate if they kept you hostage. You could have just told me, but I guess you had a reason not to. I did think things through, didn't I? You can complain. Oh, you can compliment me more, by the way. Sure, I'll compliment you as much as you'd like. You did so much for everyone, including me. You're so awesome, Akase. And with Yuki, thank you for saving her. Yuki was back. When the past cast members were revived, Yuki was included. She was in the custody of the Information Bureau. After negotiations with Arcadia took place, she woke up soon after. I'm going to assume that the people who are like, some people haven't woken up, whatever, they're the people that like, that were there older, you know what I mean? From like older streams, like some of the initial cast people. Her memory was hazy at first, and she seemed disoriented, but she was soon able to attend school again. Yuki only lost her life on video, and I managed to reunite with her. It was all thanks to Akase's negotiations. So it's similar to what Iochi did, but Iochi stayed there and was like pulling the data back and everything. So similar result, different means of execution. I'm so thankful. I pray that you can see Nanaka and Natsumi as soon as possible, too. It's alright. I'll see them soon enough. The Information Bureau's working hard on that. Kase takes a deep breath. With the Otherworld stream, producer, and sponsors gone, I don't know if my mother and father actually admitted that they were wrong, but I'll protect my sisters from now on. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. You're everyone's hero, Akase. I'm sure you can protect them. Oh, speaking of which, when I remembered Nanaka and Natsumi, it reminded me of something else. Something else? You remember when I talked about my fight with the bully at the park? It's Tomose. Just kidding. Yeah, you said you were called a hero, and that was what made you who you are today. Yeah. For the longest time, I couldn't remember who said that to me, but it was Nanaka and Natsumi. I don't say anything. For Akase, that was a precious memory. I thought it was a bit odd when he didn't know who said that to him. But it's only natural if it was his sisters. The memory of those two had been erased from Akase's mind. But you remembered. You remembered about wanting to become a hero and what they said to you. Yeah, something like that.
I thought I'd completely forgotten what they said, but I had their memories right here. Memories of Nanaka and Natsumi. That memory inspired me to be myself.
He appears to be both laughing and crying. He says it again with more determination.
When we were in the last drama, I felt scared that the ground would fall beneath me. It was a weird feeling. However, I'm okay now. No matter what happens, even if I can't convince my parents, someday something might change. As long as I don't give up.
Akase stares off into the distance, but it's different. His eyes are calm. He's gauging the truth he must accept and the reality he has to overcome.
Speaking of which, have you seen anyone besides Banjo? I heard you have their contact information.
Yeah, I met with some of them. Some couldn't make it, so I haven't seen everyone yet. I'm assuming the some who couldn't make it were like sponsors slash producers slash whatever shady people.
Well, let's call them all now. We can force all 8 of them to join.
Huh, force them? I'm sure they'll be happy to come.
I don't know about that. Come to think of it, not everyone seemed to like teamwork.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
We laughed together as we lay in the grass under the spring sun. I'm assuming we're not going to do a reunion thing, because then you would know. While it feels similar to the grass in Arcadia, it's still different. This grass is real. But there is one thing I can't remember. It's like I've forgotten something, but I don't know what it is.
Some of my memory's hazy too since we've been back. I thought I spent too much time in Arcadia and working on negotiations. But I tried my best to remember everything because I knew you'd be here waiting for me. That's why I managed to come back. It's weird. I mean, I know there was only 6 of us, and you're like, yeah. You know what I mean? And you're like, what? That'd be funny.
That's great. I was thinking of you, Akase, every single day. All the fun and sad things. I made sure I didn't forget about the time we spent together. Suddenly, he becomes quiet, so I get up to see what's wrong. Akase touches my hand with his shoulder. Oh! Another little near kiss, CG? Okay.
You should stop, right?
Huh?
You don't need to be so polite.
Really? But it doesn't really feel right.
You're the only one who still acts so properly around me. But what?
If we start talking on a first-name basis, Akase, I'd feel so much closer to you, and I wouldn't know how to talk to you.
We're already close. Right now.
You're right. And happy. I almost want to cry.
Oh, really? I'm only happy being this close to you. Finally close enough to touch you.
His fingers comb through my hair. I can sense that gentleness in his fingertips.
Everything I thought I couldn't do, everything I thought I could do, was all tangled up together, tied down, and clumped up into unnecessary pride. But you helped me when that was destroyed. You saved me. With you, I can become stronger. I can accept my weaknesses. Please be with me. When you support me, you'll get so much in return.
I'm sorry. Please be with me. When you support me, it's like, I could do anything. It's like, you'll get a lot in return. That's not how I expected that to go.
As long as you love me, I'll love you twice as much.
That's nice. But I've always loved you.
Even if you don't love me, I'll still love you. From the moment I realize my feelings from you, I'm gonna fall deeper in love with you and we'll never be separated, and I'm just so happy I can be this way just thinking about you. Just knowing that I love you.
I'm also happy. Everything seems so funny, so I laugh as Akase brings his face closer to mine.
No, why are you crying? I said we're happy right now, but it won't mean anything unless you smile.
I close my eyes and his lips touch my forehead. Oh.
I become your hero. I did show you my dumb and weak sides.
But I don't mind that at all. Besides, Toya, you've always been my hero.
That's good.
The daytime moon hangs in the bright blue sky. No matter how much time passes, no matter the memories that are made, I'll never forget my days in Arcadia, or this moment. I'll never forget. I like the way that ends. I like the I'll never forget. Okay, I'm like, he better fucking come back. You can't do that, you know what I mean? No, not gonna lie. Okay. Doing it in the I mean, I don't know if I necessarily like that it feels like it's spoiled. I'm like, is there an order going on here? But there's not, because we did Iochi, so it's not like. Oh, okay. No, I was like, Iochi's. It's weird. I'm surprised Iochi's not a dark purple. Iochi is like the color for their thing is black. And Dazai is gray. That's interesting. Everybody else gets like funky colors, but oh. Oh, okay, right. These are common. Okay. It's weird that it does that. Like I kind of always forget in this one. I'm thinking like when I click Akase, it's just going to show it. I'm like, where are the other ones? Never mind. And we've gotten yeah, we have all of his. Okay. Now, is this the one? Oh, right. Hide text is not X like everything else. No, this is one of those ones that does that. I hate that. Why do they do it? Don't do that. The A button should never go back. God, I complain about this in every game. It drives me bonkers. Because you want to see the CGs, you know what I mean? You don't want to go back and then click and then go back and then click. That's not how you want. That's so unimmersive. You know what I mean? No, that one only had one. Okay, the kissy ones at the end are the only ones that have two. Okay. Alright. Alright. But anyway. Like, he just zonked out on it. I enjoy the game a lot more when we're not ruining things like getting Futami's route second. You know what I mean? Like, I think that took me out, and that just kind of made me upset with how things were working out. But I think I'm enjoying the game a lot more, knowing that we're kind of doing it in a less spoilery order. I am glad, though, in this instance that we did do Iochi before Akase, because at first Akase never even mentioned having a partner or anything, so it was like, oh, okay, great. We don't know that there's someone else from the Information Bureau here. That's kind of interesting. And they didn't specifically really say it when we showed up and we're like, Iochi, what are you doing here? And Iochi's like, anyway. But I feel like it seemed kind of obvious because Iochi's there in a fucking business suit. You know? And then that one's a cute one. This one's adorable. I love this one. So sweet. She looks a little ridiculous while she's sleeping, but you know what I mean. But you know, I feel like it gave it away a little bit too much. I mean, I guess you guys have to let me know if you played this and you did Akase before Iochi. Did that ruin it? Were you like, oh yeah, 100%? Or were you like, wait, does he? Like, for me, knowing what I know, it's like, oh, that ruins Iochi a little bit. It takes away some of the... I guess it doesn't ruin it. It takes away some of the fun. Because you're like, oh, this one's also cute. Like, oh, Iochi works for the Information Bureau. Okay. You know? But then again, maybe it's not really that bad. You know? Maybe it's more like, wait. Oh, actually, this one's adorable. She looks a little goofy, but he's adorable. I don't know which one is my favorite. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of good ones. I kind of actually, I do think this one's adorable, to be fair. Like, I don't know. Huh. Or one of our little, like, lovely kissy ones. That one, he kind of looks exactly like himself. You know what I mean? That's super romantic and beautiful. And with the lights in the background, it really is pretty. This one's actually kind of cute. We'll go with this one because this is Akase looking like Akase. It's like 100% that's what his sprite looks like. But yeah. So I am personally glad that we did Iochi first because Iochi's like, oh, I have a partner, I'm working with someone, but never gives it away and there's really no clues. So I like that. And I personally, I think like that we did Iochi first and then did Akase. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if I would have because I don't remember. I don't remember if I made the assumption that Akase was Iochi's partner in Iochi's route, or if it was definitely set. Like, I know it wasn't Futami, like, okay, yeah, no, that seems to make it obvious. But again, I don't think Futami was definitely not supposed to be done when we did, so that, you know. But even in that, you see the way, like, Akase is acting, like, Iochi's trying to calm him down, blah, blah, blah. But they don't really say anything about the Information Bureau to kind of give it away. It's just knowing that Iochi had a partner, it made it kind of seem obvious. But that's, again, only because of the order we did things. I feel like this does kind of take a little bit of the fun out of Iochi's route, because Iochi you never knew, and then all of a sudden it's like, I work for the Information Bureau. Ooh, okay, didn't see that coming. But then again, you know, as you're building up routes and as you're seeing the way people act in other, like some of the earlier routes, you might get more of a sense, and we might have known Iochi worked for the Information Bureau before we got to their route. I don't know, you know? Unless Iochi's the next one, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, whatever. You know? And again, we've seen Ibana's arm, we've seen the glove, Iochi's been kind of needled him a little bit. And it's like, so I feel like it's a safe assumption that Ibana's been here before and lost his arm in a punishment game, and it came to get it back, basically. Although, you know what they never mentioned in this? They never said anything about, like, Chigasaki, if Chigasaki got the use of his leg back. They never mentioned that. Interesting. Meant to be left ambiguous, I guess. But anyway, you know, it also wasn't the point. Maybe, did Chigasaki lose the use of his leg in the common area of the investigation team route? Because then that might play more of a part in his own route, I suppose. Anyway, doesn't matter. I am enjoying the game a lot more the way we're doing this now with the different routes. Kind of doing it sort of more in an order. You know, I think it's a little more enjoyable. We're seeing more of the characters build up in other routes. Like, this made Futami look a little bit more suspicious than he ever looked before. So, and then I'm curious to see how that builds in other routes to go, okay, yeah, now if we played Futami's route when he does his whole, I like dark, you'd be like, yeah, okay, I can understand where you're getting that. Whereas, like, doing him second is kind of a disservice. So, I mean, it does kind of suck because with this, you have to do a set order. You know what I mean? You can't be, and you can only do Tomoza, and then you can only do this character. Because nobody wants a forced order, right? But I do feel like the way they structured it was still bad. Like, you know, if there's going to be characters like Futami where, no, you really need to do them later, then you really should have, you know, a kind of recommended order of like, hey, these are the first three characters. You can go down any of them, but these are the ones you should do first, then these ones, you know, whatever. Or not have Futami so early. I don't know. I mean, I do think it was just, it's kind of structured poorly, so I appreciate people who've played the game, configured and put out technically route order things like this. Personally, I would have recommended Iochi before Akase. Now knowing what we know, just because Iochi doesn't reveal anything about Akase. You know what I mean? But Akase, at that end, Iochi's there in the Information Bureau, and I think that makes it fairly obvious, and you're like, you kind of get sus of that, so then when Iochi reveals it, you're not surprised. And I liked the more surprise, like, oh, shit, okay. Like, I like the surprise a little better, you know what I mean? So, that would just be me. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm just being a little harsh on the game because we know certain things about Ibana, and that's not ruin Ibana for me. Might have if you don't like, but I love him. The salty little bitch. So, like, it's not going to ruin his route for me. You know what I mean? But it does, you know, you kind of have an idea of what's going on in his route. You know what I mean? But anyway, so that's it. This is Akase. I'm not sure who we're going to do next because, as you know, we don't look at the route order until we start. So I'm still banking, and then I would guess that I'm still going with Iochi's the next one, and I'm going to say that until Iochi's actually the right one. But if Tomose was the first, Akase was second, we'd have to do someone from the cooking team. And I do feel like Iochi should come before Ibana just because of the, remember? If Ibana comes first before Iochi, I guess it doesn't matter, but I do feel like just Iochi needling Ibana. But then again, did Iochi make that comment in the common route of the cooking team? Or did they make that comment in their own actual part of the route? See, that's what I can never remember too, is like sometimes it's like common route's over, but it's not really the common route. It's just everybody common route that then funnels into the separate cooking team, cleaning team, investigation team common route that then goes into specific person. So in the cooking team common route, Iochi might have needled Ibana like that. Like, oh yeah, some people have been here before. Right, Ibana? You know what I mean? And then you wouldn't need to do Iochi first, I guess. So, I guess next would be Iochi or Ibana. Then, because I don't think that matters. So we'll find out. But we won't find out until, for you, like, obviously not tomorrow, but the day after. For me, it's going to be like 3 or 4 weeks. It'll probably be like a fucking month. Because I have to record our other game, and then I don't know if I'm going to have enough time, because what I really don't want to do is not have enough time to finish a full route before Christmas and stuff, and I have to take some time off. Like, I probably will have about maybe a week to 2 weeks where I absolutely can't record just because of like doing stuff and holidays and whatever. And I don't want to start a route and then come back like a week and a half later and then, you know what I mean? So I would rather me come back and be like, I don't fucking remember shit. But a week from now, if I were to record the next route, I wouldn't remember shit. A month from now, I won't remember shit either. So whatever. And I will just let you know, obviously this is only pertinent if you're watching this as this is going up, or roughly around when this is going up. If you're watching this in bulk 2 years from now, doesn't pertain. But if there is a gap, it would be between the end of this and the start of the next route. And I will try to keep it down to a minimum of a few days, but just in case for some reason the next part isn't up when you expect it, that's why. It's because Christmas happened and I didn't have time to record. I'm not 100% sure if I'm doing anything over New Year's too, where like I definitely can't record, and then I also am going to have to come back and record our other game and this one. So I think this one's far enough ahead where we'll be okay, but because I'm balancing 2 at the same time, the other one's going to be behind, and you know what I mean? So I'm going to be behind, so I don't know how it's going to work out, what I'm going to do, but if there is a gap, it'll just be a few days between this route and the next one. So I will do that for you so you don't have gaps in the middle of a route, but yeah, so I know this is silly, but I hope you had a nice Christmas holiday and a Happy New Year. I know that's January for you as you're watching this, but it's not for me as I'm recording it, so I hope present me hopes that future you had a great holiday. So anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.